Welcome to About You. I'm Connie Hogan. Once again today I have as my guest a lady who I have known for so long and have the utmost respect for. Dr. Geneva Williams is known around town as probably one of the OGs in the women's leadership circle space. I've known Dr. Geneva for, I won't even say how long, but when I was managing the GM United Way campaigns, and she was one of the heads of the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. Since then, she has done so many things, including serving on the Michigan Women's Commission, which she still does, and she has her own company called Dr. Geneva Speaks. She's a noted author and award-winning everything, and we're so excited to delve into all this. We were just saying we have to be sure we keep it all above board. We know we know so many people,
right. and so many stories,
and so many stories, and so much history of the we call it the club, right, in Southeast Michigan. For the I was thinking about that driving over here today. It's like we knew so many people. And it was so much fun, though, overall. I mean,
lots of fun.
I worked for Debbie, and you worked for Virgil Carr, remember?
Yes.
And all those stories. And then you had, now that I'm thinking about it, you were one of the heads of the, or you were the head of the United Way Community Services.
Exactly, yes. So it was UCS, United Community Services.
Yep.
And I was the first United Way female executive.
I remember that.
And then we merged the two United Ways, and I became the executive VP.
That's right. Oh,
way
right,
back,
right. And
way
Virgil
back.
had been there forever.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Yeah, bless his heart, because he just passed out one day, and that was it. I remember I was at the funeral, and I was actually one of the last people he talked to. But anyway, to start the interview, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
I always like to start with, like, you know, your background. I'm not sure, were you from Detroit or?
No, I am not a Detroiter originally, but you know,
You've lived
after
so long.
you
You're from Jersey, right?
Yes, after you've been in Detroit and get to know a few people,
it's in your blood,
it's
man.
there.
You can't
And
take the girl out of Detroit. You
That's
can't
right.
take Detroit out of the girl.
That's right, and I love Detroit.
Oh, I do too.
Yes.
Well, 100%.
Yes.
So, but then you went to Morgan State. Okay, that's original.
So I was born and raised in a small town on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So I was raised around lots of water and sand and sun and great times in a very small community. And everybody knew everyone else and everybody else's business. My sister and I used to think there was a conspiracy going on, and that everyone, all the adults in the community used to go and meet on us because they used to ask us all the questions, be in all our business, and really encourage us all the time. And so it was a wonderful experience. And I found out later on, as I really thought about it, that it probably was a conspiracy.
Probably. Well, we just had the conspiracy out there. You know, Jersey's a funny, I love it.
But
it's
of
funny,
caring adults.
Yes, right.
Who really felt and knew what it was to be positive, to be a community, to surround young people so that they could grow up to be whatever they wanted to be. Because the janitor in the school, the woman who owned the candy store, people everywhere were always supporting me and my sister as we were growing up. And so it was a caring community. And then, you know, Connie, my parents, ordinary folk. Mom was a teacher, Dad a government worker, but they were also civil rights activists. And so I learned leadership at a very, very young age. And the combination of a caring community and the leadership that I learned from both my mom and dad really shaped the direction that I ended up, being in.
I remember, we were talking about that, there was some award, you had so many back in the day, but there was something and you were being honored, and I think some of the New Jersey people were there. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Maybe it was when you left United Way. I don't remember.
Was.
It probably was. Do you remember that?
It was, yes. My mom and dad came in from Jersey, yes, and that was when Governor Romney and I had just finished putting together the Volunteer Leadership Coalition. And so he was there and we were celebrating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were celebrating. Well, I was leaving the UCS, but what we were creating was even something bigger and more. And we were, putting on the finishing touches of that leadership coalition.
It was like, but the philanthropic business, it is always changing one way or the other in all the aspects of it, especially something as big as United Way.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing to me, no reflection on them or any group or them in general, how they've survived though, with the internet. And how everybody, because I was fighting that. I was fighting that back then because it's like everybody can go in and just do it in 5 seconds.
That's right.
Even back in, let's say, the mid to late 90s, and that's when I was really engaged in United Way. Because I had started it, around that time. But I was like, I would try to explain that to like Virgil and people, it's going to be so easy. So I would fight with our leadership about it because I said it's going to be very hard to get people to go through these massive organizations like United Way or Red Cross or whatever, because people can go and do their own thing. If you want animals, if you want women's rights or whatever, kind of thing. And it was, boy, I was right about that.
That's right.
I mean,
that's
look
right.
at, nowadays you just go everywhere. It's like, where was it yesterday? I was looking at something. Oh, it was an organization for children, and it's like they didn't even let you look at like what their mission was and everything. But it was like donate. I mean, you had to like fill in your name. I think it was almost like you couldn't even back out of it because you had to go and donate. But it's so easy, so easy. As long as it's legit and everything, you don't even have to worry about it being secure or whatever.
Well, things certainly have changed in the world of philanthropy, and I think for the better.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think
it's more transparency.
Yeah, and we're smarter about how we can have impact with our dollar.
Right.
And I think that really makes a difference because the smarter that we are about the differences that our dollars can make, that we know where our dollars are going, that we know who's being served, that ROI, return on investment, is clear to us.
Right.
We want to give money.
Right.
It makes everything better. It makes philanthropy better.
It does.
It makes change come around better. So I think it's all change for the good.
It's all change for the good. And you and I were speaking earlier about one of my pets, everybody knows this, pun intended, is animals. And a great example of that is some of the policies with a big organization, I won't say who, and they're great, but some of what they do is maybe not for me as perfect as this other group who I might not like the people as much, but I love what they do. Like the way they manage the actual animals day to day. I might be opposed to some of their tactics, but I love, perfect example, where your money's going, where your money's going, and what you're going to do. And not only where it's going, but also you have access to learn. You go in and see either online or in person what they're doing. It's all, you're so right, it's all so much better.
Yes, it is. And being able to have that connection with where your dollar is going is important as well. So I always advise people who are looking for where to invest their dollars, where to invest their time, that if you can have that connection, I know everything's so high tech these days, but those places where you can actually have the connections make a difference, where you can be with children, you can see what's happening with your dollar, where you can actually go in and read or volunteer and so, because it's all about your time and your treasure.
Right, absolutely.
So
So now talk a little bit, I know I've gone through this, and you were Crane's one of the most influential women, which I spoke about earlier. But talk about NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners, because I've had some other people, several people on the show. Tanya, my buddy, she was here last time.
I saw that interview. She was great as always.
She's great as always.
Yes.
Yeah, but she always has all new stories.
That's right.
I mean, because she's involved in so many things.
So many, yes.
That you say, oh, yeah, there's NAWBO. But NAWBO is a great organization, National Association of Women Business Owners.
Yes.
They have some great events. And so you were involved with them. Talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
So I've been active with NAWBO for a while, and particularly because it's women business owners. And as I started my company, that wasn't the direction I was going in initially. When I started my company, I made the transition from the nonprofit world into becoming an entrepreneur, in fact, a late life entrepreneur. So I started my business in my late 60s. And it had always been a lifelong dream for me to have my own business, my own platform. And after years of running organizations, I raised a lot of money, over $100 million, and forming all kinds of partnerships.
You did, yeah.
I wanted to step out on my own and develop a platform to help leaders develop even greater capacity for impact and influence. And that's where I was going. And so it was wonderful. One of the organizations I joined at that time was NAWBO, worked with them. And so that was the connection. But Connie, shortly after I started my business, my husband got his first diagnosis of cancer. And that began a journey for me of caregiving that I wasn't really prepared for.
I think a lot of people would say that.
Absolutely. And when we, get into our 50s, 60s, 70s, we're definitely going through those life transitions, and we experience those things. So here I was, just started a business, caregiver, and then my parents got sick, and then they all passed within months of each other. And so while I didn't start my business focused on the kinds of transitions, navigating those transitions that we as women have to go through in particularly our midlife, lots of change we go through, so much. And so I found myself going through all that. It wasn't in my younger years, it was all about balancing all of these balls. But as you get older and experience these loss, the changes, the career shifts, menopause, all of these things, it's more than just juggling some balls.
Right, it is. Survival of the fittest, right?
Absolutely. And so we want to not only survive, but thrive. We want to continue because, we can live much, much longer these days. And so I pivoted my company to really focus on helping women who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, their midlife, to find the ways to have, to live vibrantly and to really design what their next looks like. Because, society really tells us, once you blow out the candles on that 50th birthday, you done. You passed your prime.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
That's what society tells us. We're on a decline. Well, I reject that. That's a lie.
Well,
and we know that we can do much, much more, and we have so much to live for, and I'm living example that we can do that, and I know lots of women who
absolutely
can. So that's what I do these days.
It's very timely.
And my work with NAWBO really got me to really see how these smart, educated business women can make it, and then they gave me an award for outstanding businesswoman.
That's awesome.
So
they're very
well
connected.
Great organization.
And it's so much fun. They're probably one of the most fun groups. Not that it's all about fun, but they have the golf outing. They have a lot of, I think maybe monthly events and stuff. I've had so much fun with them. But yeah, I mean, so your Dr. Geneva Speaks podcast is, when you're talking about your business, is that what it is?
Well, my business, what I do is I do several things.
Right.
Yes, I do have a weekly podcast, and I talk about all kinds of issues and subject matter that's important to women in their midlife years. I also coach. So I do executive coaching as well as strategic advisory with organizations. So I still haven't let that nonprofit stuff go.
Right, because that's your expertise.
Yeah, so I'm still working with organizations who need help in raising dollars
That's
or
really
strategic
where I would
planning.
think, I mean, that's what I know of you doing.
Yeah, but what I discovered, Connie, was that so many leaders of these organizations who are women go through these transitions and want some help and advice on how to get through it. And it's funny, what happens to us oftentimes is that we're at home, we're juggling things, we're getting children ready for school, or they're grown, they're out the house, we're empty nesters, or we're doing whatever, and then we're expected to walk into the boardroom,
Right.
walk into a meeting, and still be totally polished.
Right.
Even though we might be going through personal summers.
Right. You got to kind of flick the switch.
That's right. And there are so many women who want help or advice or strategies. And how do you navigate all of that? And how do you figure out what's next after a personal loss or after the kids leave home? Or after a divorce, or what to do in retirement.
Or like financial losses.
That's right.
Or never even, I just look around and I think about, not only for older women or anybody, but it's just like with the world being what it is and all these scammers and just, I mean, everything. Like, I consider myself so fortunate that I don't have to deal with any of that. But it's just like, that would be so scary. It's kind of like that show Matlock. I was thinking as you were talking, Kathy Bates and Matlock, the new Matlock. She's like, when women, she has this quote, when women reach a certain age, they become invisible. Isn't that a great statement?
That's right.
And some person that you and I know in common had made that comment to me about herself. She's a lot older than me. But she had said that years ago, and it was exactly the same thing. But now I'm seeing it. It's just like, it's really an interesting dynamic.
Yes.
It's hard to explain it.
You become overlooked, and most of the times you're not only qualified, you're overqualified. You've been through so much, but it's like you're not there.
Right, that's exactly what they said. That's what she said.
Exactly. So the work that I do is working with women to go from being invisible to influential, to figuring out, to figuring out, to acknowledging and reclaiming the strengths, the skills, the accomplishments. Connie, how much you've done in your whole career, the people you've met, the problems you've solved, the things you've accomplished, the skills you've gained. You don't lose that stuff.
Right.
And what happens is that sometimes as women, we forget those accomplishments and skills.
Because you've been gaslighted at times.
That's right.
That word,
and we
manipulated.
we think that we're past our prime, that it's too late.
For sure.
And it absolutely is not. And you know what, Connie? The thing when I, it's kind of tough, of course, when I lost my husband and my parents.
What parents?
And they were the most important people in my life. Okay. And nobody kind of prepares us for this kind of loss when we get older. And so one night I was doing my grieving and looking at their obituaries, and I noticed that dash, that horizontal stroke that all of us have between the time we're born and when we're going to get out of here. And I said, that's dash is what I want to make important.
We need to pause. So Geneva, you are so right about that. And I hate to say this, but it's almost like a new diversity group. And I hate to say this, but it's young people versus older people, especially with women. I was watching a TMZ interview yesterday about the election that they had in New York or whatever. Good luck with all that. But the way the girls were talking, the guys weren't as bad. The young guys. But it's kind of like, it's almost like, well, I mean, they almost as good as said it. These people, they were using like 60s, 70s, whatever. Like they've already done their stuff or whatever. And they actually said, sit down and move over. They actually said that on TMZ Live. They could go and check it.
Yeah. And, a lot of people said that to me too when I decided in my late 60s that I was going to start my own business. Like, why are you doing that? Why don't you go rest? You should retire.
Lay on the beach.
Aren't you too old? All of those things. And that's one of the reasons why I do the work that I do today, because you got to go down real deep in yourself to say, okay, I'm going to go live this dream. I'm going to go ahead and do what it is that I want to do. And Connie, we owe it to ourselves because of all of the medical advances, all of the technology that's going on. We're going to live a long time.
So. I hope I'll be like Tom Brady's dog.
That's
right. Isn't that good?
That's right.
I'm like, I want to look at old Luna or whatever.
We have a lot of years ahead of us. And I know I said to myself that, when I was really down deep in the depths of things with my grief, and I was trying to figure out, what's going to be my next, I said, I not only want to live, but I want to live vibrantly.
Right.
I just don't want to survive. I want to thrive.
Right. That's the big thing.
And so if I want to do that, if that's my desired state, how do I reverse engineer in my life
a good way to do it.
and figure out, how am I going to get there? And so that's when I said, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to state it and claim it, and I'm going to live vibrantly. I'm going to look good, do good, think good, feel good, all of those kinds of things. So, staying healthy took on a different meaning.
Oh, absolutely.
Exercise became more important. Finding ways to stay active, just like you. You stay active, you have a passion about animals, and that's your passion. So we as women in particular need to make sure that we're living our passion, that we know it, we find in it, we live in it. And that not to go, fade out because we turn a certain age.
But some women, I was just thinking as you're talking or I'm talking, a lot of women aren't strong enough. They're just not. I mean, they don't have that, what do you want to call that, core, I guess. It's not their fault, but they just don't have the inner strength, I guess, the inner platitude to really to have the confidence. Really kind of comes down to that.
What I discovered about that, and I'd love to know what you think. When I look at women, let's say in their 50s and 60s, and I say to myself, something got you here. Most women who are in our age group have been through some stuff. We've been through loss, we've been through job loss shifts and children and everything. So we have come through it, and there's a resilience and a courage that we've developed to just to get here.
School of hard knocks.
And so I think we often have it in us, but there's that fear, that myth. it's too late. I'm too old. I can't do this anymore. And so one of the things that I do when I work with women is to help them reclaim, re-examine, rediscover those strengths that got them to where they want to be, to really talk about, well, what is your purpose? What would you like to do? And come, let's figure out and do those things together. And we're seeing more and more women, Connie. It's really becoming a movement, I believe, because, listen, the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs
that's what I was just going to say, yeah.
are women our age.
Right.
Not in their 20s, not in their 30s, but us in midlife.
Because we have, I mean, it's just, you know, technically there's more people that were born in like the 60s and late 50s.
That's
and
right.
Such, you know.
That's right. And we've come through so much. We have so much experience, lots of experience.
Lots of experience.
Lots of skills. And it's the matter of, okay, well, how do I leverage those skills? How do I use them now that I've lived a half a century and things are different in midlife?
Right. Oh, it is. Life is different.
It is. It
in
really
some ways it's better, in some ways it's not, but it is what it is.
We can, and that's, you know, Connie, I think we have a choice. When we're at these crossroads of midlife, we can go and do what society says. You're past your prime, it's over, go somewhere, sit and decline. Okay, we can do that. Or we can say, no, my best years are ahead of me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to figure
out,
I'm going to figure out how I can do this. And there's lots and lots of women who are doing this now, and we know. And so that's what I'm doing these days, particularly for those women who want to start a business, want to shift their careers, want to write that book, want to do a TV show, want to do a TV show like you're doing. See? We can do this.
We can do it, absolutely. Just go for it, man. Go for it. It's like Channel 4. Go for it.
That's right.
So now talk about, you know, I know you're a guest speaker and all this. If you can, talk about maybe we have a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Things you've done that you would just highlight that you've done here in the last year or two, you know, like specific companies you've spoke to or whatever, groups.
Well, I'm having a real good time with my podcast, my video podcast.
I'll have to look at that,
and on that, I stream I'm on all the social platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube,
You're
Facebook,
on YouTube. Okay.
TikTok. I have a big TikTok.
You have TikTok? Oh, what?
I have a big TikTok following. Wow. And IG.
So you are out there, girl. Yeah.
I'm out there, okay. And so I've been having lots of fun. Talk about a lot of important issues and interview folk. So that's fun.
Okay.
I'm also enjoying the Women's Commission. You know, I was appointed by the governor to that commission about 6 years ago, and then reappointed.
Okay.
And then she asked me to serve as chair of it. So I was vice chair and then chair. And so that's been loads of fun. And then, Connie, I got 5 grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
2 of whom are twins.
Wow.
And so I've been having just a great time enjoying that. I wish there was a way, you know, we could jump over the children and get straight to the grandchildren.
Right. Well, here we're talking about that in the last 30 seconds of the interview, right? So Geneva,
but I love it. So I have a beautiful, wonderful family, and I enjoy what I'm doing. And you can, I'm on all social media platforms at Dr. Geneva Speaks.
Okay, at Dr. Geneva Speaks. Thank you for being here at Geneva Speaks, Dr. Geneva Speaks. I'll call you Dr. Geneva. And we just wish you all the best of luck, continued luck.
It's been great being here, and it's great reconnecting.
It is. Thank you. And thank you for watching today.